Eugene Cyril Smith III, better known as Geno Smith, is an American football quarterback for the New York Jets of the National Football League. He played college football for West Virginia University. Smith was selected by the Jets in the second round of the 2013 NFL Draft. Early years: Smith was born in Miami, Florida and is the son of Geno Smith, Jr. and Tracy Sellers. His great-uncle Danny Smith was a record-breaking All-American hurdler at Florida State University, and his cousin Melvin Bratton was a star running back at the University of Miami in the mid-1980s. He was admitted to Norland Middle School's magnet program, which dedicated 2 hours a day to arts instruction. He would go on to attend Miramar High School where he was coached by former Mountaineer Damon Cogdell. As a junior he passed for 2,200 yards, 25 touchdowns and 3 interceptions and was named second-team All-State QB. He was also named second-team All-Broward County as an athlete for 2007. Following his junior year he was invited to the prestigious Elite 11 quarterback camp in Aliso Viejo, California. During Smith's senior season he led his team to the state's 6A semi-finals and completed 205 of 338 passes for 3,089 yards and 30 touchdowns while also rushing for over 300 yards. He was an All-State First Team in Florida Class 6A and a Parade All-American. He was also the #1 rated player in Broward County according to the Miami Herald and South Florida Sun-Sentinel and finished #2 in the voting for Mr. Florida. He finished his career as the third-best passer in Broward County history, and was named to the ESPN Top 150 Prospects list. He chose to attend West Virginia over offers from Florida State, South Florida, Boston College and Alabama. College career: Smith attended West Virginia University, where he played for the West Virginia Mountaineers football team from 2009 to 2012. He was an English major. Freshman season: Smith saw some action his freshman year, being the backup behind senior Jarrett Brown. His first snap in a regular season game came against Auburn University. He completed 5 of 8 passes for 50 yards and 1 interception. He would see action again against Syracuse, Marshall, Louisville, and in the Gator Bowl against Florida State. In his freshman year at West Virginia University, Smith completed 32 of 49 passes for 309 yards, throwing 1 touchdown and 1 interception, and rushing for 7 yards on 17 attempts as the backup to starting quarterback Brown. He finished his freshman season with an 81.1 quarterback rating. Sophomore season: 2010 was Smith's first year as the starting quarterback. For the year, he completed 241 of 372 passes for 2,763 yards, throwing 24 touchdowns and 7 interceptions, and rushing for 217 yards on 106 attempts. He got his first start in the season opener against the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. He completed 20 of 27 passes for 216 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. He led his team to a 31-0 victory over the Chanticleers. With the Mountaineers down 21-6 against in-state rival, Marshall University, Smith led his team to a fourth-quarter comeback victory. Smith led the first drive from the WVU 4-yard line. With help from senior running back Noel Devine, the Mountaineers cut Marshall's lead to 8 points. After the WVU defense stopped Marshall, a punt put the Mountaineers near their own end zone again, starting from the 2-yard line. After completing 9 of 13 passes and scrambling for 20 yards, Smith found tight end Will Johnson in the corner of the end zone for a touchdown. With Marshall still leading 21-19, Bill Stewart elected to go for the 2-point conversion. Smith completed a pass to wide receiver Jock Sanders in the back of the end zone for a 2-point conversion. The Mountaineers went on to win the game in overtime by a score of 24-21. Smith finished the game completing 32 of 45 passes for 316 yards and 1 touchdown. He rushed for 13 yards on 14 attempts. After 2 games, Smith led the Big East in passing yards and passing efficiency. In a 31-17 victory over Maryland, Smith completed 19 of 29 pass attempts for 268 passing yards and 4 touchdowns. 2 of his touchdowns were to Tavon Austin, and 2 were to Stedman Bailey. Smith won his first Big East Offensive Player of the Week for this performance. In WVU's first meeting ever with LSU, the Mountaineers lost at Tiger Stadium by a score of 20-14. Smith completed 14 of 29 pass attempts for 119 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. He rushed for 10 yards on 5 attempts. Smith threw for 220 yards and ran for 19 yards in West Virginia's 49-10 win over UNLV. It was the most points WVU had scored since playing Connecticut in 2007. In an overtime loss to Connecticut, Smith was 22 for 34, throwing for 160 yards. He had a season high of 64 rushing yards. This was the first game all season Smith did not throw a touchdown pass. The loss was the first time Connecticut had ever beaten West Virginia. Smith tied his record for touchdowns in a game in a 37-10 win over Cincinnati, where he was 15 for 25, throwing for 174 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 interception. The win came after a 2-game losing streak. It was the first time the Mountaineers beat Cincinnati since 2007. Smith won his second Big East Offensive Player of the Week for this performance. Junior season. With the arrival of new WVU football head coach Dana Holgorsen and a new passing-based offensive system, Smith saw his passing numbers improve drastically. In the 4th game of the season against the number 2 LSU Tigers, Smith set school records for completions, attempts and passing yards in the 47-21 loss on September 24. With 372 passing yards against the Cincinnati Bearcats on November 12, Smith tied a Big East record with his 7th 300-yard game of the season. He tied the record that was set in 2007 by Brian Brohm of the Louisville Cardinals. Set single-season school records for pass completions, attempts and yards on November 25 against rival Pitt Panthers. He broke the records that were held by Mark Bulger in 1998. In West Virginia's 70-33 rout of the Clemson Tigers at the 2012 Orange Bowl, Smith tied 3 individual bowl records: most touchdown passes, most touchdowns overall and total points. Smith's 401 yards passing broke Tom Brady's Orange Bowl record of 396 that he set in 2000. Smith, who was also the game's MVP, also became the Big East single-season passing leader with 4,379 yards, breaking Brian Brohm's record that he set in 2007. Senior season, with his performance against the Marshall Thundering Herd on opening day, Smith became the school's all-time leader for career completions and touchdown passes, passing Mark Bulger's totals from 1996–1999. In Smith's game against James Madison, Smith became the all-time leader for career passing yards, passing Bulger's total of 8,191 yards. Against Baylor in a 70-63 win, he threw for 656 yards and 8 TDs with 45 completions, and only 6 incompletions. In his final regular season game, Smith completed 23 off 24 passes for 407 yards and 3 touchdowns in West Virginia's 59-10 victory against Kansas. He set the WVU consecutive pass completions record with 21, spanning the first 4 quarters, and broke the Big 12 record of 20 previously held by Missouri's Chase Daniel in 2008. Smith's completion percentage of 95.8 tied the NCAA record and also set a conference mark. Professional career. Pre-draft, Smith received an invitation to the scouting combine where his performance was well received by scouts who highlighted his athleticism and strong arm but noted his ball placement needed improvement. Smith was widely regarded as one of the top prospects alongside E.J. Manuel of Florida State University. In the days leading up to the draft, several NFL teams expressed interest in Smith, including the Kansas City Chiefs, Jacksonville Jaguars, Oakland Raiders, Philadelphia Eagles, Buffalo Bills, and New York Jets. New York Jets, draft and signing. Smith was in attendance for the first round of the draft as many analysts and scouts expected him to be taken that night. However, he was not selected. E.J. Manuel was the lone quarterback taken in the first round. Smith declined to be interviewed by ESPN afterwards and originally planned to return home but later decided to attend the second day of the draft. Several league executives alleged Smith did not handle the draft process in a professional manner, which caused him to fall out of the first round, while analysts pointed to his late-season decline as senior at West Virginia, which exposed his flaws, as the primary reason. The following day, the Jets expressed interest in trading up in the second round to select Smith but couldn't consummate a trade. Despite this, Smith remained available and the Jets selected him with the 39th overall pick. General manager John Idzik, following the selection, stated Smith would compete with incumbent Mark Sanchez in training camp to determine the starting quarterback. Smith fired his agency, Select Sports Group, upon the completion of the draft and sought new representation. He signed with Roc Nation Sports on May 22, 2013, with Kimberly Miele serving as his representative. Smith worked out in his home state of Florida during the off-season, prompting questions as to whether or not he had spurned Sanchez by not attending Sanchez's Jets West summer camp in California. Smith and Sanchez dismissed this notion, with Sanchez saying it was no big deal. Smith signed a 4-year $5 million contract on July 22, 2013, with approximately $690,000 in workout bonuses. 2013 season, Smith made his professional debut in the preseason on August 9, 2013 against the Detroit Lions. He completed 6 of 7 passes for 47 yards but left the game due to an ankle injury in the second quarter. X-rays showed no structural damage and Smith returned to practice on August 11. Smith started the Jets' third preseason game against the New York Giants, completing 16 of 30 passes for 199 yards, a touchdown and 4 turnovers. Smith was named the team's starting quarterback on September 4 after Sanchez suffered a shoulder injury against the Giants. In his first regular season game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Smith completed 24 of his 38 passes for 256 yards and a touchdown. With only a few seconds left in the fourth quarter, Smith was hit out of bounds by Lavonte David, which drew a late hit penalty, and the Jets went on to score the game-winning field goal. In Week 2 against the New England Patriots, Smith struggled as he completed 15 of his 35 passes for 214 yards, a touchdown and 3 interceptions, as the Jets lost 10-13. In Week 3 against the Buffalo Bills, Smith completed 16 of his 29 passes for 331 yards, rushing for a touchdown and passing for 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions as the Jets won 27-20. Smith became the first rookie quarterback in franchise history to throw for 300 or more yards in a game. Smith struggled Week 4 against the Tennessee Titans. He completed 23 of his 34 passes for 289 yards and a touchdown while committing 4 turnovers. 2 led to Titans touchdowns as the Jets lost 13-38. The Jets faced the Atlanta Falcons on Monday Night Football in Week 5. Smith completed 16 of his 20 passes for 199 yards and 3 touchdowns. He completed all 4 of his passes on the Jets' final drive, allowing Nick Folk to kick the game-winning 43-yard field goal. Smith was named AFC Offensive Player of the Week and the Pepsi NFL Rookie of the Week for his performance. In Week 6 against the Pittsburgh Steelers, Smith threw for 201 yards and 2 interceptions as the Jets lost to the previously winless Steelers, 6-19. In Week 7, the Jets played the Patriots. Smith completed 17 of his 33 passes for 233 yards and scored 2 touchdowns as the Jets won 30-27 in overtime. Smith struggled in the Jets' Week 8 loss against the Cincinnati Bengals as he completed 20 of his 30 passes for 159 yards but threw 2 interceptions that were returned for touchdowns before being replaced by Matt Sims in the fourth quarter. Smith started the following week against the New Orleans Saints. He completed 8 of his 19 passes for 115 yards and a rushing touchdown in a 26-20 upset of the Saints. The Jets returned from their bye week to lose 3 straight contests to the Bills, Ravens and Dolphins. Smith struggled during this stretch as he failed to score any points and committed 8 turnovers. He was benched in favor of Sims against Buffalo and Miami, leading coach Rex Ryan to be non-committal in starting Smith the rest of the year. Smith showed gradual improvement as the Jets won 3 of their final 4 games. Against the Raiders, Smith completed 16 of his 25 passes for 219 yards and scored twice in the Jets' 37-27 win that kept the team in playoff contention. The following week, the Jets played the Carolina Panthers. Smith performed well until throwing a costly pick-6 in the fourth quarter. The Jets lost 30-20 and were eliminated from playoff contention. Smith finished the game completing 15 of his 28 passes for 167 yards, a touchdown and interception. The Jets won their next contest against the Browns with Smith completing 20 of his 36 passes for 214 yards and 3 touchdowns. In 20-7 win over the Dolphins in his season finale, Smith completed 17 of his 27 passes for 190 yards and a touchdown as the loss eliminated Miami from playoff contention. Smith completed his rookie season with 3,046 yards, 12 touchdowns and 21 interceptions. 2014 season, Smith was named the starter for 2014 on August 22, 2014. Smith opened the season passing for 221 yards and throwing a touchdown and an interception in a 19-14 victory over the Raiders. During Week 2 against the Green Bay Packers, Smith passed for 176 yards and rushed for a touchdown but had an interception in the 24-31 loss. During Monday Night Football against the Chicago Bears in Week 3, Smith's very first play resulted in an interception returned for a touchdown by Ryan Mundy. Smith finished the game with 316 passing yards, a touchdown and 2 interceptions as the Jets lost to the Bears 19-27. During Week 4 against the Detroit Lions, Smith threw for 209 yards with an interception and a lost fumble during the 17-24 loss. On October 3, 2014, Smith was fined $12,000 for cursing at heckling fans during the Week 4 game. Despite the incidents, he was allowed to start in Week 5 against the San Diego Chargers, in which he threw for only 27 yards with an interception and was benched for the second half in favor of Michael Vick as the Jets were decisively shut out 0-31. Prior to the Week 5 game, as a result of confusion, Smith had missed a team meeting. Smith started in Week 6 against the Denver Broncos, throwing for 190 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception in a 17-31 loss. During Thursday Night Football against the Patriots in Week 7, Smith threw for 226 yards and the Jets combined for 218 rushing yards, but an ensuing game-winning drive fell short due to a blocked field goal as the Jets lost 25-27. On October 26, 2014, Smith went 2 for 8 and threw 3 interceptions before the end of the first quarter against the Bills and was subsequently benched in favor of Michael Vick. Personal life: Smith is a Christian. Smith frequently posts about his faith on his Twitter account. Statistics: College, National Football League, Regular Season, Career Highlights, Awards and Honors, All Big East Conference Second Team, All Big East Conference First Team, 4A, Big East Offensive Player of the Week, 2011 Orange Bowl Most Valuable Player, 3A, Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week, 2A, National Offensive Player of the Week, NY Jets Franchise Records, Most Passing Yards in a Single Season by a Rookie Quarterback, 3,046, Highest Completion Percentage by a Rookie Quarterback in a Single Season, 55.8, References. External links, career statistics and player information from NFL.com AA ESPN CBS Sports Yahoo Sports SI.com AA Pro Football Reference Roto World, New York Jets Bio, West Virginia Mountaineers Bio, Geno Smith on Twitter.